All right. We are ready for more quarterfinal action of Dual Domination Tournament 1TC Booming versus Coordinated Collapse. We have Swedish Goblin in the chat. I believe Swedish Goblin is uh, part of Coordinated Collapse. Welcome. Um, the 1PD is also in the chat. Thank you for the subscribe, very much appreciated. Um, the one PD, are you able to tell me which team you're on? You want me to talk trash about the coordinated collapse, but I don't know if you want me to talk trash about your own team or the other team. um, but good to have you guys along. You're not on any team. Fantastic. Oh, you're in bracket 2. Wonderful. Um, I've been covering bracket 3 and bracket 4, um, which has been a lot of fun. Oh, you lost in the semi-finals. Hey, semi-finals, I mean, it's pretty good. To get to semi-finals means that you put in a good showing. Um, but yes, 1TC Booming, I have wanted, well, I've just found out really that John the Phil is in 1TC Booming, which I was pretty happy to see because when I cast TTL, not the Two Worlds tournament, but the tournament before that, I was covering his bracket, and my goal was to cover every single player playing in that bracket. And there was about 20 players per bracket. And I got through 17 players, and I missed out 3, and John the Phil was one of the players that I wasn't able to cast. So I'm making it up to him here today, making sure that I can cast for this game. So I'm pretty happy about that, and looking forward to how they play. The draft. Let's talk about the draft. So Shoals is the admin map, so that'll be the first map played. But TC Booming has picked Slopes, and they've picked Citadel. I'm really happy to see Citadel in the map pool because I've never cast that map before. I'm looking at the map in the pixelated form. I'm like, I have no idea what to expect from this map. Um, uh, so I really want to make sure that map is played. Who is in Coordinated Collapse? I can quickly find that out for you. It is Swedish Goblin and Blake. Blaish? I'm going to say Blaish actually. Blaish is probably how you say it. The 1TC Booming is Josen Blood. Josen Blood, I'm going to say. Forgive my New Zealand accent. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. And John the Phil. So that's who we are with. But yes, the draft. So we have a lot of water / hybrid maps, Pacific Islands being that true water map. And we see the Woo on the side of TC Booming, pretty good on water and hybrid maps. And Portuguese, which are also good on water maps. And pretty good on the hybrid maps because they get wood from berries. I like that pick a lot. But on the side of Coordinated Collapse, we've got Vikings, a good water civ, Persians, a good hybrid map civ. And then we also have Copenhagen, which is a closed map, or a closed-ish map. It's really the only map that is both closed and hybrid. But I kind of treat it as a closed map. But we've got Turks on the side of 1TC Booming. I would expect that there on Copenhagen. Could we see Spanish or Burgundians on Copenhagen for Coordinated Collapse, perhaps? And then we also have Slopes. We've got Magyars, which would be pretty good on Slopes. And maybe Lithuanians would be pretty good. on slopes, but you know, we've got the Mayan Vietnamese pick in here as well, so we're looking at archers on the side of 1TC booming where they decide to do a bit of archer play would be good. And then Byzantines and Khmer I would kind of consider on the side of coordinated collapse to be just really solid civs. They're just good to have in your draft. They're often comfort picks for players. So that's what I'm expecting there. Byzantines obviously good hybrid map civ as well with their fast or their strong fire ships. So really interesting draft, interesting maps. I love a hybrid map and I'm looking forward to Citadel. But we're going to get straight into the action. All right, so quarterfinal action for Dual Domination tournament. We are starting on Shoals. We've got Vikings on coordinated collapse, and we have 1TC booming on the old Portuguese. This is an interesting matchup. I've had a lot of experience casting Shoals over the last couple months because it was part of TTL. Shoals is part of a lot of tournaments, I would say, as a map, because it is such a good map. But that means there has been a little bit of a meta develop around this map and what civs have picked. And I've seen countless Italians picks on this map. Just basically every single time I've seen Italians. And I'm grateful not to see Italians this time around. Portuguese, I kind of consider more the open map kind of civ, but having the wood collection from buried is super handy on a map like this. And then Vikings again, I also consider open water kind of civ, like Pacific Islands. But you have the longboat available. There is enough space for maneuverability here in the middle for longboats to some extent. So I'm interested to see how longboat play works out if we see it, how good it does. That should be pretty interesting to see this time around. So I think this would be a good map because it doesn't play into the the predictable meta, we shall say, of what we've seen before. Obviously, these two sets would also be pretty good on these maps. Dravidians was another one I've seen on this map. But interesting here, 1TC booming, going a lot on wood. I would expect to see a transition to berries pretty quickly. You do need to rely on wood still, just because you can't rely solely on berry wood passive collection. But yeah, just as we see these players get settled in here to the maps, I'll just bring up my my chat. I'll bring it up next game. I'll have to flick over, but yeah, just in terms of the map pool of this, I think it's been a really great map pool. And actually, before I'll interrupt my thought here, we've got no dock here for coordinated collapse yet. I'm thinking we might see it pretty soon, but we already have 2 fishing boats out here for 1TC boom, so they've already got a little bit of a, well, I was going to say they already have a bit of an eco, oh no, they do have a bit of an eco lead based on those two ships. But what I was going to say is that I do really love the map pool for the dual domination setting where you've kind of got 2 players playing the one civ at the same time. I love the lots of hybrid maps as the map choices because one player can control water, one can do economy or land army. You can kind of divide attention in ways that make sense. So loving the map pools put here together by the organizers. Yeah, so shout out to Dodo and Neopal, I think is the other one. Do I have VODs enabled? Yes, I have VODs enabled. So you'll be able to see it on my channel for about a week afterwards, and I'm also uploading to YouTube as well. So if you're watching them too late, head over to the YouTube channel and it will be uploaded there at some point as well. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, so we're catching up in terms of fishing ships, which is good to see. Got a lot of dead carcasses over here, but they're all deer, so we're concentrating on pushing that deer. And we are up to feudal already for coordinated collapse. They're going to be a little bit behind in eco, so what they're able to do here with this is going to be interesting, but I do find the feudal time to be super important on Shoals, because you get a leg up in the galley or fire galley war, as we have a bit of a scout skirmish there. But yeah, we're going to have galleys out first for coordinated collapse, and we might be able to see some fishing boat snipes. But I'm expecting a decent response here from 1TC booming, but might need to see a second dock to achieve that, to catch up in numbers. But here we go. Here's the galley. Sea Tower, obviously a great feature of this map. It provides a bit of protection for the fishing ships, and didn't quite respond in time to save that fishing boat. And players are going to chase these fishing boats around. So we are in feudal already for 1TC booming. And I was going to say, are they even going to contest? I wasn't sure, but we are. We're going to get fire galleys out. But the most important thing is, we are going to try to get to Castle Age, rush for that Castle Age, instead of contesting the water. So coordinated collapse has 6 galleys on the floor here, but not necessarily getting that much value out of it yet. But we are seeing, did we see more investment in fishing ships? Yes, I think we did. So might be able to extend the boom onto water now with all this water control. Gonna dive for this villager, doesn't quite make it. Going for the 3rd dock. So really investing into water here. But it's gonna be quite a difference in terms of the Castle Age time. And that's a trade-off. It's a real trade-off. Even got into fletching right now too. Which I don't think is needed, considering that water has been locked down for now. And as I was coordinated collapse, I might be starting to panic. Like, oh goodness, Castle Age already? and we actually have 3 fire galleys in that single dock, and we're going for war galley. And if I'm being honest, that might be enough to take out the 5 or 6 galleys that are on the floor here for coordinated collapse. And coordinated collapse is going to have to run here, and some of these are going to go down. 2 have gone down. 1 is basically dead. Another one's basically dead. And there's all these fish. There's 13 fishing ships here. So that's a lot of coordinated collapses economy that are now exposed. Fire galleys not being terrible at tanking sea towers as well. So we're going to need to get up to Castle ASAP because this could be a problem. Should also mention that we see a TC up in the far left corner for 1 TC booming, so they are not 1 TC booming, they're 2 TC booming right now. And we're actually going into a war galley now as well. Don't need a retreat off this, I don't think. Could keep on putting the pressure on here. But back at home base, we did see a knight go down at the scene, which is interesting. We do need to see a market, perhaps, to get to Castle, and I wouldn't be hanging my ass out with these ships either. Yeah, if I was to be critical of 1 TC booming at all, it would be keep the pressure on and keep them in this corner. And potentially getting... You could even send this guy over here just to harass fishing ships. And this is funny, having a gate. Shoals obviously being very hard to wall off at the front, and we've got a gate across the middle, which is, yeah, really funny. But yeah, even if these fire galleys go down, just think of the value. The value is insane. This single fire ship has 9 kills. Yeah, you can just keep on tanking this shot, this tower, I think. But yeah, we're going out to Castle now for coordinated collapse. And they're going to have a bit of a food issue because they were relying on the fish. And the fish are all but gone, other than this around the side. Whereas we've got less fish here for 1 TC booming, but look at these farms. We've got 18 on food, we've got 2 TCs. We're going into the farm upgrade as well. And I know the Vikings want to get to galleys, and I do know that Vikings do not get fire ship. I've just remembered. They do get demos. Demos could be good here. Or maybe you just need to try and get to the galley numbers, but oh no, we've popped out way too early. There's no chance. You have to get to Castle and then get the upgrade, and then you face a little bit of a chance with a couple of demos in there. But we're also going to put a tower up around the back to protect the docks. It's not a terrible idea. I like that idea a lot. As I see, Swedish Goblin has just told us that he's the one on water. Love this tower. Love this tower. Actually, there's a bit of a block, a dock block. Can this ship even escape? I'm not sure. But here we go. We've got some good galley numbers now with Bodkin. Love that. Okay, so we do stand a chance on water now. Would still like to see a few demos thrown in here so that these fire galleys can't engage, but of course you can. There's enough space on this map to micro, and we're seeing some pretty good microing here from Swedish Goblin. So that is really well played. Focused a lot on water. We should highlight that we are on the right-hand gold for 1 TC booming. Opting to have the TC back here for coordinated collapse. And I do see a flare on the map there by somebody on coordinated collapse to think about going for the right-hand gold. And yes, they will eventually head out that way. Scout cavalry hiding in the bushes. You can see his outline there. You can't fool me. I know you're there. But he might see a villager head out that way eventually. Yeah, coordinated collapse really committing to water here. And 1 TC booming really committing to land. So it's a contrast of strategies, which is what you want to see. We're sticking with fire ships right now for 1 TC booming, but remember the Portuguese, once they can perhaps get to their caravels, you know, we might see the tides turn in the galley war. Let's see if they can muster up enough fire ships here to get the job done. 2 in there, 2 in there. So 6 are probably going to pop out here at once. Well, 9 actually. These 3 could come around the back. But they need to pop out together, so these will start popping out pretty soon. They need to pop out at the same time. And they will. And they will there. Castle action around the back here as well. And castle action on the side, so a lot going on all at once, but water is where all the action is, and we are whittling down the numbers a bit of the galleys, so it is really swings and roundabouts on water. A couple of demos would have been handy, I reckon. Obviously micro of galleys is also a good strategy, and we are seeing the fire ships eventually going down. We might even see a conversion here on one of these ships. Unfortunately, it is on the weakest ship and the one that is being targeted. I think he got the conversion as it was dying. But now we're back to a stalemate on water. We have the beautiful Viking castle on the side. Love that castle a lot. Even got a transport ship here. Monk is going to perish, going for a relic. But we have a castle off on the side. This side is completely unfazed though, so I would give the advantage here to 1 TC boom. They have the villager lead by about 20 villagers as well. And it looks like the fire galleys have started to get out of control a bit again. This is hilarious, and that was targeted, which is extremely funny. And these galley numbers have dropped away. So I would say the Portuguese player has probably won water at this point. Both TCs on the side here are going to be in range of castles. So this gold situation is not going to change. It's not going to be able to... this gold is not going to be able to be harvested very easily. Although, we do have some on the side here for coordinated collapse. Double castles. Very heavily contested. And I think we might have given up water on the side of coordinated collapse. And we're going to need to see trebs, and the Portuguese are going to be ahead in achieving that, with Imperial only being a minute away. Fire galleys being oppressive on the shorelines here. Happy to tank the shots of that tower as well, just to get the docks. I think that is wise. A couple of knights coming around the side, but a monk is here. Tried to get the quick balls down, failed, but the knights run through. And let's see what they can find here. It is only 2 knights, so it's not enough to do too much damage. Gonna need to get another wall down. There is a gap around the side. No, closed off. Fishing ships go down. Trebuchet is coming out. Castle at home will deal with raids. But this could be very pesky. And I don't see anything being produced to take care of this. I guess they're pretty unfazed by 2 knights. But something is going to have to come back here eventually. And there we go, 2 knights. It's going to be knight on knights. And goodness, I didn't see... I saw the siege workshop, but I didn't see the rams. And we've seen this ram play a lot, and it has worked to pretty good effect, if I'm being honest. Castle goes down. Arbalest is going to be up. So Arbalest would be great against these berserks, but I would say these berserks are probably tanking too much shots from towers right now. And they will, well, there is a lot of rams here. There is a lot of rams here. Arbalests are relatively unprotected. They should have perhaps microed away. And surprisingly, we're going to see coordinated collapse take that engagement. I thought the early trebs would take that for sure, but no, rams and infantry have proven to be extremely strong. I've seen them in so many games. And a ram takes out a organ gun, which is hilarious. And the TC is going to be rebuilt on this side. So green takes the side. So this could even out, and actually, Coordinated Collapse have taken the villager lead. They're storming back here. They're really storming back, and we're looking to transition more into Cavalier for the Portuguese. Cavalier have been a really good option for Portuguese because they are cheaper. And I would say if Cavalier got back here, what a beautiful economy, by the way, very well done. 67 farms, very nice. But if Cavalier got back here, once they get their armor upgrades, which we haven't got any upgrades to the blacksmith for Cav yet, so might take a while. As the Rams are not stopping, they're going to keep going. Their castle is doomed, I would say. You need to build up more numbers. Monk is going to convert another ship. Let's see if this is noticed. It is not. So this one fire ship could take out this entire group of ships. We'll check in that later. But we're now seeing the Cav come in here. And Cav are going to be great against the infantry ram play. So I think it was a perfect response by one TC booming to go into Cav. Another ship gonna be converted and taken out instantly. Another castle gonna be built, and now we have good Cav numbers along with archer support. But very light on military for Coordinated Collapse, so they're thinking more berserk, but they only have one castle. So that's going to be a hard sell in terms of military. But crop rotation around the back, I mean, the farms are going to be absolutely flying. Castle going up to prevent potential raids. Portuguese organ guns around the side. These are going to have to be microed back eventually. But with the Cavalier support with these organ guns, that's going to be cleared up. TC coming round to take out that castle. Going into catch ram here for Viking, so continuing on with the ram play. We have converted more fire guys, which helps take out that trip. But these rams are going to have to be responded to. Looks like we don't have the pathing necessary to get round here. But I don't think the ram play is going to work. You can't be doing rams into Cavalier. I think it's... You know, I think the timing that you used to win this side was really well done. Like, superbly done, I would say. But I think, you know, we're going into siege ram right now as well. Unless you can get like a critical mass of them. I don't see it continuing to work, but we are looking at more rams around the side here. I mean, even Halb are pretty good against rams, and the organ gun is going to be decent against what's in there, and that has been taken down. Still holding on this side though. And we've got enough ARB here to take out any berserks, but we're going to have to continue with the Cavalier to ensure that another ram play doesn't happen. We threw away quite a lot of cav on that villager hunt. Cannon Galleon in the middle is going to be amazing. With taking out castles. Here come the rams. I think it's too late because this castle's gonna go down. The rams are gonna target the trebs actually. And that might be a mistake because the castle might remain up. Could have potentially taken out the castle. And those berserks are going to go down super quick to ARB. And we've got trash around the side. Castle remains up for some reason over here. But berserk should definitely clean up Halberdier. But I would expect to see the walls start closing in on coordinated collapse. They have 158 villages right now. That could be overkill. They don't have enough on the floor to stop a monumentous raid, but it is being delayed right now, at least on the right hand side. This bombard cannon needs to come round. This treb needs to come round, take out this treb, and then this will be entirely exposed. I like the addition of the skirmishers, however, they can't do it alone with those Cavalier being there. I don't quite know why these cannon galleons haven't taken out this castle yet. Tread comes down, more elite organ guns, but no siege. But TC, this is, you know, about a third of the, well, I was going to say a third, but we're up to 170 villages. 170 villages. We have officially overburdened plus more. We're going to claim the spot with the castle in a second. But make sure you're not going to kill your own castle with cannon galleon. So he was attacking ground there. I mean, that is a blue mining camp. I think you might have seen these villagers go around the side, but it would appear not. And cannon galleons are back on this castle, which is going to go down real quick. We haven't finished with villages yet either. 174. And we have 92 on wood. I mean, you think deforestation in the Amazon is pretty bad. I would say deforestation on Shoals probably worse. Because that is so many on wood. What do you do with, I mean, I'm guilty of this. What do you do with your villages once their economy has been decimated? They're off farms, they're off gold. You put them onto wood. and they can't all fit in those castles. Even castles have a limit. Closing in on that side. Trev's going to come over, you know. Trev's both on fire. So let's see how many units these have can kill right now. I mean, the castle fire is doing a lot of work, but those, what, 10 cav, 9 cav, killed 28 villagers. And that castle's going to go down, and we're going to see the GG from Coordinated Collapse. Very entertaining game, very entertaining. And, you know, a few kind of flips there in the lead. But one TC booming, killing it in the first game. Love this economy at the back for Coordinated Collapse, but even in the loss, they still have 150 villagers. So that was an overboom. So 1-0 up to 1 TC booming. We are on Copenhagen, which is that mix of arena style with a hybrid water map, very unique. Seeing a king run straight over to Archer to Tower Fire, very ballsy, as he waddles away, very portly chap. The king on the side of the Khmer with the parasol. Anyway, I get distracted. 1 TC booming on the Berbers, which is unexpected. I should have perhaps looked a little at the draft before we got into this, but we can do that later. But Berbers, not something I was expecting. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't often consider them as a closed map civ, or even a hybrid civ. So fascinating to know what that choice was. But Khmer on the side of Coordinated Collapse makes a little more sense to me because they do have that extraordinary boom potential with their farms. But yeah, we are heavy on gold already. More of a food and wood economy over here for 1 TC booming. But we are in feudal here for the Khmer, and so the scout is faster and can get a few good hits off. But yeah, interesting to see what the strategy is. That fast feudal time though is, you know, we're already looking at 5 galleys coming out. But we don't have any fishing here for 1 TC boom. How did he get up so fast? Were we idling TCs or something? Or I'm not quite sure, but that was a really fast uptime. But we're already going to be attacking this dock before any fishing ships get out. So, Coordinated Collapse. They're looking for ships. They're looking for fishing. There's no fish available. You're going to have to hunt the dock. We'll take up the dock. That is extremely funny. That is very, very funny. But getting boars now for Coordinated Collapse. We are on feudal now, and I think we're not even going to try and contest water for 1 TC booming. quite heavy on gold again for both sides, really. I mean, I say heavy, 4 villages is not that, but you already have enough for castle basically on both sides. But yeah, the fast feudal for coordinated collapse means he got those fire galleys out quick. However, 1 TC booming is going to be up much faster to Castle Age as a result, because they didn't invest anything here. They didn't get the fish, but they also didn't invest in the water. Oh, I should have seen what was happening down here, but coordinated collapse been very attentive on the scout. You know, those hits on that scout, getting him low, meant that he could take that fight against the villager quite comfortably. So 1 TC booming, nothing on this water, perhaps wanted to maybe secure water down below, and that is also thwarted. So really good position here for coordinated collapse, as long as they get to castle in a relatively decent time. No need to panic yet, of course, in terms of timing, as you've got the upper hand. Oh yeah, by the way, Captain Cook, I think his name is Blaish. Oh, and Captain Cook is in, or Captain Cookie, sorry, is in the chat. Welcome, thank you very much. I've got a bit of intel here from the chat. So Captain Cookie said, they said to us they believe this was Fortress, not Copenhagen. So, oh, the 1 PD said you start with 500 food. That's interesting, because it's regicide, of course. And no need to get buildings to go up. That's how you're able to achieve that fast feudal. The Georgian or Khmer, you can automatically go feudal. Now that pick makes sense, but we are up to castle for Berbers, and we're thinking of putting this TC down. It's going to be tried to be blocked here. And it goes down, so well done, well played. Bit of gamesmanship there. You know, I think the Berber players believe that they needed those 2 buildings because they've gone from Market Blacksmith right next to each other. You got the castle, as said, you don't need those buildings. Oh, actually, yeah, Khmer don't need the buildings to go up. That makes more sense. Sorry. But yes, coordinated collapse will be up very shortly, and they're going to go into stable, which makes sense. And I wonder if we are going to see Ballista Elephant behind this, or is it going to be Knights? I mean, doing the stable would indicate to me probably. But we do see a villager lead still here for coordinated collapse as they enter Castle Age, and that's because of those fishing ships. So even the second TC going up a bit earlier hasn't necessarily secured a villager lead here for 1 TC booming. Underrated part of this map is if you win water, you've got a guaranteed gap to go through on the water's edge. So something to pay attention to. One TC booming did finally get that dock down at the bottom. And we're going knights. Knights for Khmer. I like that a lot. We're going into upgrades with husbandry and bloodlines. I've got the fishing to achieve this. But if one TC booming can get out enough camel archers, that would be very nice for them in terms of combating knights. You know, get a few pikes in front of there, and I think you might have the combo that you're looking for. But very spread out kind of army. You know, camel archers basically everywhere, not necessarily grouped. Husbandry addition is nice because the knights can track these down a little bit quicker. I've got 1.4 on the camel archer, so they're still a little bit faster. The camel archers are a little bit faster than the knights, and they have bodkin. They know that knights are the unit of choice now, and they're going to go more into camel archers. But I think these knights are thinking of coming around the back here. And imagine if they can get onto this wood line. This is walls, so that's really good forethought. They can still get through these houses pretty quick, but it would give them enough time to wall this off. Market's going to be the target, and that might go down pretty quick. Extending the arena around the side here, by the way, which is a good strategy, and you know, pretty obvious, but I didn't think of that myself. Pretty short distance to completely wall that off. But camel archer driving this attack back. And I give coordinated collapse a really good shot here. I think they're in the lead. But if the Berbers can kind of get to a unit combo with more camel archers and make sure that this number doesn't collapse, you've got to keep your numbers up. Monks coming out. Got to drive that back. And I just don't know if one PC booming is going to get to the numbers it needs, especially without constant production back here. These knights can eventually overrun that amount. More knights around the back, so we're going to have villagers on constant repair job. And coordinated collapse are going to look to press the action. Also about to have 2 relics, potentially a third, which is back here. That could be difficult to get, but he's going to go for it. Going to go for this relic. So relics really going in favour of coordinated collapse. I thought pikes and camel archers, but of course the Berber camels with the camel archer is also a perfect combo. Scout converted, so that wasn't noticed. But we're looking at a little bit of a villager lead creep up here for 1 TC booming. We're only going on to the second TC now for coordinated collapse. And funnily enough, we are seeing fishing for both players down at the bottom. We're seeing transport ships for monks. And they have collected 2 relics actually. There's a monk inside the monastery, which is pretty funny. And coordinated collapse is going to win the bottom water as well as the top water. And we're also going for Scorpions. So Scorpions is a pretty good addition to deal with Camel Archer. Monk, Scorpion, Knight. It's a good combo. A lot on stone here. And actually there's enough stone here. 2 more castles basically. And they should have whacked down one of those castles a lot earlier. And they should do so right now. Yes. Don't know why here though. The hill, I guess. But I would definitely be prioritizing a castle. Monk could swing high here. Oh, is that the king? Oh my goodness. I thought that was a monk. They could have won the game right there. They could have... Are they hanging this king's ass out to get them into a bad position or something? But I wonder if they're gonna try and go for this. Are they aware of this? Because that's a lot of stalking. And these knights should run for this. King's on the move. And he's dead. And he's, you know, he's so close. He's so close to getting into the TC. I can't imagine the panic on the side of 1 TC booming. You know, do you run past the TC? Do you jump in the TC? They're frantically clicking to try and get into the TC perhaps, and it doesn't quite make it. Turbines on the ground, you know, fallen off into the town centre. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. But of course what has happened is there's been a rally point mistake. See it all the time. You put the rally point here for your camel archers, you're saving up camel archers inside the castle, and then you eject. And the camel archers, as well as the king, stand out here and left exposed. Oh my god. As the 1 PD also says, that's why you keep the king in a tower normally, so you don't make that mistake. Swedish Goblin says, I didn't re-engage looking for the king because I thought they realized and put him away. No, not the case. Yeah, started looking and lo and behold, there he is. Alright, this quarterfinal match between 1 TC booming and coordinated collapse is 1 apiece. We're in the 3rd game, and we are on Citadel. So I want to talk about the map first before I get to the Cids to know what potentially the players are thinking with their Civ choices, but I've never seen this map, I've never played this map, I don't know anything about this map. but this is obviously the key feature of the map is this citadel in the middle of the ocean. It's got stone, it's got gold, it's got deer, so you could play a hunting civ like Mongols or something potentially on this map. And we have 3 entry points to the citadel, even a couple of water entry points on the back. I love the addition of the rugs because you see those underneath town centres and the hangman's pole. So that's a cool map detail. I like it a lot. But we also have quite a lot of gold, starting gold around the TC, but no gold on these bits up the side. So there's about 8,000 gold before you really have to start worrying about the middle, but you will definitely have to prioritize the middle somewhat as your starting resources run out. So also mentioned there are quite little tree lines here. This tree line only having 2,500 wood-ish. So little tree lines. So yeah, now I know a bit about the map. I can talk about the civs. Coordinated collapse going for the Magyars. I think that's a good shout. You could play this like an open map before anybody progresses towards the Citadel. Do a lot of scouts. You don't need to worry about gold so much. And do kind of a scout rush. And then the Citadel perhaps doesn't even matter in the long run because you defeat them early-ish, maybe in late feudal, going into castle. Vietnamese on the side of 1PC booming. I usually consider them a booming civ. More closed maps or semi-closed maps they're pretty good on. Good archer civ. The economy is nice with the upgrade discounts. They're pretty decent on hybrid maps as well because of the savings of the upgrades. And they are going to go to water early. So I think that's a nice little detail. But the Magyar players also going to go to water early. So they're not going to bypass water. The fish, corner fish are really interesting. I want to see how much fish is there without getting any trees. It's about 2,200 fish in the corners. So you can get quite a good fish boom, start over here, and then build more docks on the way up. That peninsula. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool map. It's a really different map. And 6 relics. 2 in the middle, 2 on each side. Interesting. We're going up to feudal already for 1 PC booming. And we'll progress to gold. We're thinking of walling as the Magyar player. My instinct for Magyars, and I'm not a Magyar fast player by any stretch of the imagination. I don't play them all that often. But, you know, you've got to waste quite a lot of resources to wall up. I'd be allocating all of those resources to the scout rush and forcing the hand of my opposition early rather than walling. But, you know, the Magyars have a decent late game in the sense that you've got the cab archer play, so maybe you're just playing for the long game at this point, which, you know, could be fair enough. But I think the Vietnamese got a better boom. So you might be playing the Vietnamese at their own game. This village is going to die. Just snipes him. These villagers, are we going to see another kill? Shouldn't. And man, that was a lunge. That was almost like a step lancer lunge to get that last hit. And this scout is looking for revenge. These guys are going to build a stable as soon as we hit fuel, I would imagine. There we go. Perfect. That's perfect. And some on gold. I wouldn't put 4 on gold. Still need to maximize that food to get as many scouts out as possible. We have got the fire galley out already for 1 TC booming. Fishing ship's going to escape, but they will be unproductive. But fire galley response for coordinated collapse. And we are 2 fire galleys up in that battle. But again, I think the focus should purely be on scouts. And I say this as a bit of a noob myself. I'm about a 1100 elo player. I'm not a great player by any stretch of the imagination. So take what I say with a grain of salt, of course. I might not know what I'm talking about, but gonna be a bit of repair in this pro level strat there, trying to hide behind the dock. So we may see a sneaky comeback on water from an early deficit. And actually, coordinated collapse found those goats that 1 TC booming hadn't found, and we're forcing a quite an extreme response here in terms of houses and such, but these scouts can run around because there's no... Oh! It's only 2 scouts, but you hate to see it when a gap like that opens up. But the split up units, not ideal. You know, if that was 4 scouts all together, we'd definitely see dead villagers there. But we've got the archers and the spearmen counter raid, and it's forcing a tower response. You're protecting berries. There's only about 150 food on those berries. I'd probably be more concerned about the gold around the back. Because when they get through here, they won't be going for berries, they'll be circling backwards. However, we have not secured water, but turned the tides on water. I would have kept attacking that wall, 100%. I don't know this tower is here. Oh, it's a coin flip. It's a boat coin flip. Are we going to see a repair villager? I think we are. Can they get it? Double repair villager. Turns the tides. Very well played. Good attention to detail there. That was amazing. Sniping a farm. Lovely, lovely. But you just can't... What work are you going to get done with 2 scouts? I say that, but they will get a villager kill. Just need a little bit bigger group. 4 would be great, but good spearman defense as well to prevent any kind of real damage here. It's a little bit frustrating for them, of course, to prevent a market being placed down. And scouts probably, well, all of these scouts, well, 2 of these scouts are really low. And they're just going to go ring around the rosy. They're going to circle back perhaps and get this kill, but at what cost? I don't know if this is working out for them. It's very nice, I love the idea. And to be annoying as possible is what you want to do. And they're delaying these archers from doing anything useful. There's 12 archers there. But they haven't been able to break through. So I've been thinking of Castle Age and getting a siege workshop down for sure. Oh, I didn't even notice there was another relic and gold by the bridge as well. Very interesting. Yes, we're up to castle for 1 TC booming. Even though they're behind in villages, I would probably prefer their position, say into the Citadel. Probably looking to see if there's been any expansion up here, which there hasn't been. Oh, actually, of course, I'm a bit slow on the uptake. There's obviously a workaround to get into the base. You don't have to go through the walls. You can just go around the other entrance. And they're through, forcing another tower. So forcing 2 towers is, you know, good in of itself, I would say. And this is going to be really annoying for coordinated collapse. Even if no damage is gotten, but obviously dual domination setting, one player is just going to be microing this army. You can literally just have one player parked on this army, looking for pickoffs, looping, maybe even forcing another tower. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to deal with this. We're going heavy into skirmisher, which, you know, that is a natural response, I would say, with another archery range, but Magyar skirmishers, they're obviously good skirmishers because I think they're fully upgraded. However, I feel as though that's not what you want to get to as Magyar. You want to get into your cav, of course. And we're forcing more idle time as villagers are walking about. And even crossbows can take out unupgraded skirms. So that's great. I would love to see Siege Workshop come out. But we do have knights as well. The knight can get around here, but we planted 1 archer on this entry so that no villager could come back and seal this up. But a villager was able to get 162 hit points onto this gate. So we are going to have to see Siege Workshop to some extent. Elite Skirm coming out. And the economy is not ideal. Economy's not ideal for coordinated collapse. Gate down. Knight is through. One single knight can devastate this skirmisher army. But we've got cav archer. We've got archers in defense. Then that will be enough. We do seem to have been prepared for this. And 4 cav archer are probably not going to do the business. We are low on villages. We are sticking to the name here with 1 TC booming. We are indeed 1 TC booming. And these slow foot archers are going to try and chase these cav archers, but 2 go down, 3 go down, all 4 go down, so that is secured. And villagers around the back here are dodging shots actually. There's a bit of a hill there, I believe. So contest for the hill. This army will probably be cleaned up eventually. So try and get as many villager kills as possible. Regaining some ground here for 1 TC booming, but we're getting up to the 2nd TC now. We might see mangonels come out, but the Citadel, the focus of the map, completely untouched. Completely untouched. And that's because there's been so much action on the mainland, I guess you could say. So, Vietnamese cav archer, also very good. I don't know if that is thematically corrected. Vietnamese use a lot of cav archer in real life. In real life, I say. That I'm not sure of. These villagers can pop into TCs, of course, and ward off those cav archers, but skirmishers are coming over to defend this gate placement. So that gate will finally get down. And here we go, mangonels. The mangonels finally starting to be produced. Not on ballistics yet for the Vietnamese player, but I reckon you can probably just wait at this gate for any units to come out, and then you're pretty fine at home. Starting to do some kind of walling, which is good. Skirmishers are not going to do well against mangonels, of course. And see a big shot there, and 3 skirmishers against this number of archers are going to get mopped up every time. And we're going to be through this house quick. Mangonel can take out the tower. Gonna need a repair villager though, I would say, for the mangonel. You could even camp this tower with the archers and just sit underneath, but tower's gonna go down really quick. Yeah, 3 mangonels. You know, unless this mangonel in defense can get some really good shots, which it looks like this has not been seen. Might get another one here. double mangonel hit. Now we're just left with archers against the mangonel. Could get another big hit here. Attention's going to need to be focused on the army. So that has been paused for now, and 2 mangonels against 1. So good stuff here from Coordinated Collapse. Knights are going to come into the back of the base. How is this going to be handled? Where's the army? Are we going to think about going into pikeman upgrade? These knights can do a lot of damage. I think I might have missed a big mangonel shot on that mass of archers. But the archers can finish off that stable. Villagers have retreated from those spots. Stable down. And we're back on the offensive. This mangonel's gonna have to get involved. Does get hit. Let's see what the mangonel micro is like. Oh, microing this one, and this one gets taken out. So the mangonel, we are more experienced mangonel players on the side of Coordinated Collapse, and this could be that could have been worse, but that was still a big shot. My heart sank when I saw them group up. That was not ideal. But we should probably be thinking of a castle and a Imperial Age timing here for 1 TC booming, but they're forcing a quick castle to go up here for Coordinated Collapse, and this could be a lot of dead villages. It probably will still go up, of course. But how many villages are we looking at? Looking at 18 kills. There's little kills from before as well. So that wasn't all just then, but that was a good little raid. Being tracked here by a mangonel. I now know why we have a good eco lead here for Coordinated Collapse, because we have fishing boats. So we're boomed on water. This has been resealed. Looks like the archers managed to take out that mangonel. But Magyar Hussars can eventually get enough numbers to take out the archers. Castle's going up. We shouldn't be too far away from Imperial. I would say for 1 TC booming, that probably should be prioritized at this point. Archers around the back taken out, and these Magyar Hussars are going to start to become an issue alongside the eco lead. Apparently we don't want to kill all the archers. Just going to leave one back here for good luck. And I think 1 TC booming are stalling out here. Remember, Magyar Hussars are really good at taking out siege, so that's going to be quick work. And archers are left exposed. And the rating potential from here on out could be tricky for one PC booming to handle. And the archer numbers have collapsed. And now these Magyar Hussars can just have free reign of whatever they want. And there's no pikemen. I think we're starting to think of pikemen now. It's spearmen are coming in thick and fast, but no upgrades, no armor upgrades, no pikeman upgrade. That's going to be a bit of time before that comes in. And look at the idle eco. That's 64 idols. And an even bigger eco lead. And we're up to Imperial as well for coordinated collapse. Desperation to take out this Mangonel, and it doesn't even do it with one hit point that's on that Mangonel. So very unlucky. Good hits here on the... Actually hits his own unit there, unfortunately. More castles in the back, and I think this is just going to be Magyar Hussar spam. Citadel finally taken as well by coordinated collapse. Trying to wall off. That must have been taken out at some point. But just imagine when we get the next armor upgrade on these Magyar Hussars. Imagine we get the upgrade where they only cost food. And you've got an eco lead and you just raid. Light Cav coming in here for 1TC booming. I think they're out of answers. Yeah, and there we go, there's GG. So, coordinated collapse, 2 wins in a row off the back of Magyar Hussar. Amazing stuff. And I think 1TC booming just stalled out on what they were able to achieve with the foot archers and mangonels, and the mangonel micro difference between the two teams was a big contributor to that, but they did have a really big upper hand to begin with. So it was winnable for them for sure, and I think they put in a good effort. But Magyar's 3 castles, Magyar Hussar spam, that's like a death by 1,000 cuts. So yeah, well played to coordinated collapse. Captain Cookie says Magyars are the best civ in the game. I think that's debatable. However, it is very satisfying when you can get to that late game combo. It's just getting there. That's the problem. Because you have no eco bonus. So you can overcompensate for hardcore scout production in the early game and get eco kills, and that's how you get to late game. But that doesn't always work, and if it doesn't work, you're at a huge disadvantage. So here we go. All right, we are in game 4 of the quarterfinals of bracket 3 of Dual Domination, and we have coordinated collapse on the eve of going to semi-finals. 1TC booming might have something to say about that in this game, but coordinated collapse going for the Burgundians. That is brave on an open map. Very brave on an open map, but we might see some kind of fast cavalier strategy. I think that's the only way that you can kind of get through the early and mid game for Burgundians on an open-ish type map. But they're going to have to compete with the Mayans, or the Maya, now call it, and potentially an archer rush, going into plumed archers. Yeah, maybe some eagles in there for Cav, but I think the Maya need to take the initiative here to make sure the Burgundians don't go into late game. Because if Burgundians get into late game, that's going to be tough to contend with. That's going to be real tough to contend with. But yeah, Captain Cookie, you are on coordinated collapse. If you can provide any insight, unless it's a spoiler, of course. But yeah, actually, we won't ask you if, what your logic here with the Burgundians, because we're going to see it. I reckon there's going to be some strategy in mind for why Burgundians on this particular map. And I'll wait to see it. I'm just kidding, I'm too impatient. I'm much too impatient. I just need to wait. These villagers building a house. They may be going up here to get the deer and the fish. No deer pushing. Oh, sorry, my apologies. We have seen deer pushing on coordinated collapse on the left-hand side. We're going to go for the mill for 1 TC booming. So investing 100 wood to do that. I think I do prefer the luring. I know it's really far, but you have 2 players on your team. So literally 1 player is luring deer. So you can definitely do it in these settings, especially in Dark Age, where you don't really need the actions per minute for 2 players. So I would opt for the luring, so that you save 100 wood. Again, another great map choice by the organizers. I think they've really thought through the map choice, and knowing that it gives 2 players something to do in the early game, and taking advantage of the settings appropriately. Having lots of hybrid maps, having little details like this, I think it's just really, really smart on the organizer's behalf. So shout out to them. But yeah, thinking of walling, again, I don't know if it's the right approach, because I think if you're the mines, you know that you need to get into archers. You want to, I would imagine, direct all your resources available to a archer push once you get up to feudal, rather than investing in all these walls. Obviously, I love a house wall. If you're going to build a house, why not make it into a wall? But this villager to be building walls instead of collecting resources and then obviously spending wood on those walls. That's not ideal. It's not ideal, but I feel like they are still going to go for the archery range and into an archer rush. Nothing on gold yet though. These villagers off to gold. I think they've realized, hang on a second, we need gold to execute this strategy, and we don't have the wood for a mining camp And we're not going to have the wood for an archery range into archers immediately upon hitting feudal. So the timings are just a little bit off. And maybe the overall strategy is just a little bit off. But they might be able to still be able to do something. Whereas I think that what the Burgundians are doing makes more sense. You have to wall into the Burgundians because you know what's coming, or you should know what's coming. Even gonna do a preemptive tower for the archers. It's really the Maya's win condition to take this gold away, and they've already stopped that from even being thought about. They're even going for stone walls on this side. I'll say on this side, but less weak points, I guess, and going into scouts. But there's the archery range and there's the archers. Yeah, stone walls at the back here, as well. They will be able to get through this gap, of course, but that will be plugged up eventually. Eagle Scout on the back is helplessly looking at the situation and thinking, what can I do here? Preferably, I reckon double archery range would have been the play as well, rather than single archery range. These villages are exposed. I think Coordinated Collapse has got their number on this one. This would be the first place to look if you are in scouts. And that's going to be 3 dead villages. This must be the original scout. But that's 3 easy kills to begin with. Might see some return kills here though. Tower's gonna stop that from progressing any further. My daughter has just woken up in the middle of the night, so you'll be able to hear her in the background. So unfortunately a broken sleep for my wife, but happens when you got a 1.5-year-old daughter, of course. Got 2 spearmen in here in defense. That might not even be enough. You could just take them out, potentially. But these scouts have got other things in mind, wreaking havoc on villages. I reckon it's, as soon as there's 3 spearmen here, that's going to be an issue. But good on them for getting another villager kill here. And dodging those long spears. Luring one away while more villagers are attacked. But they're like it's going to catch up with them, and I don't even know if they got another village. Archers around the side. They're not going to be able to get in. You could wall this off as well. Yep. Replace the house. That's fine, but this is still going to be exposed. Walling off here for 1 TC booming. The one PD, thank you for the stream, have to go. No problem at all. Thank you for coming. We were also milling by the border once that was scouted by Blue's Eagle. yeah, I think once you kind of get to feudal age and you see the rushes happen, you've got to get off those resources. But yeah, this Burgundian eco is very secure right now. I don't see this this being penetrated by anything, at least not in time. The Burgundian eco is going to start pumping. We're in feudal and we've got both already. Got enough wood at the back, we've got stone walls. We're forcing responses at home. We've even trapped some spearmen in between two houses, which is pretty funny. They're going to pop out and start their chase, but no luck. These scouts are just going to be annoying but not find any more damage, but they've already found as much damage as they need to get what they needed here. Stone. So we're thinking a castle, coordinated collapse. You build a safe castle at home, probably here. You secure the front of your base, and then you start producing your coustier, I think they're called, or that's how you pronounce it, and go into your cavalier. Not going to risk it though. Going to do another tower. Fair enough. I think that's fine. I guess they're what the lose condition is if there's a breakthrough. You've lost, so why put it to chance? So I don't mind that at all. It does put you a little bit behind in terms of getting to that castle. You can always buy the castle, I suppose, but no additional resources to play with, and not many on gold, so that will probably have to change. Got the bug of them trying to run off the map. It's found another weak spot actually, so I might need to stone wall this. However, as soon as we get to Cavalier, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. We've even got armor coming through. I reckon we're going to see Cavalier upgrade come through immediately. No, we're going to see some knights. We don't have enough on gold to really take advantage of this strategy. So we're thinking actually for maybe a mangonel to stop this, to buy us even more time. So really good time buying. And there's the Cavalier upgrade. So that's going to be devastating. And this is a really tight base. Showing the level of caution one TC booming has. Cavalier, husbandry, chain barding armor. We've already got 4 knights. Couple of pikemen. Once this mangonel comes out though, if you can take out those pikes and then the Cavalier comes through, then that's going to be tough, and they're not even going to get this barracks perhaps. They will actually, but we have got 6 Cavalier. So good luck. Yeah, they're going to pounce on those archers. Those archers are still going to hit pretty hard. So maybe a little bit too early, I would say. But now no pikemen. And you're going to have to respond to Cavalier. There's a lot of army on the floor though for 1 TC booming. But the longer this drags out, the tougher it's going to be for mine. So I really think they've lost their window. There's nothing on gold for coordinated collapse, which is a bit of a flaw in the strategy, I would say. We definitely need more on gold. So we're luring all this army back to the back of the base. It's exactly what coordinated collapse want. It's just to buy more and more time. That's exactly what they're doing. But they don't have the gold production. I guess they're sending all the villages they have onto stone. They want to secure that castle at home. So they can really start booming. So they can start booming in safety, basically. So here we go. More on gold now. This is much better. Force dropping off the stone. Actually, we're selling stone. So we might be changing up strategy a little bit. Maybe we think we can push rather than defend. And they might be right. Don't usually think of 1 TC. You know, we're talking about 1 TC booming, but it's coordinated collapse doing the 1 TC booming. And they're doing it on Burgundians, and they're doing it on Cavalier. Good micro away from the mangonel there. Once this kind of gets to critical mass, it's not going to matter how much archers you have. But pikemen and archers are a deadly combo. And I love the addition of the scorpion. That's really smart. Still wondering about this card. Good damage with the scorpion, of course, but that TC is not going to go up. What can we achieve? Oh, okay. There's a hole back here. Somebody didn't close the gate behind them. And they're in. Oh, you hate to see it. They don't know either. No, they know. They definitely know. But this is going to be a lot of dead villagers. They already are behind on villager count. And not all the villagers can fit into the TC. This is a disaster. Just because, oh, this person's like, who the hell didn't shut the gate? Take it upon myself. But now the villager count is plummeted and have we got the GG? I think we do. I didn't quite see it in the chat from blue above. No GGs yet. Okay. Alright. One may say bad manners, but good sportsmanship on the side of coordinated collapse. You know, you could say that they may have microed that differently if they didn't call the GG. But they seem to be in good spirits about it, so Fair play, fair play. A little protected little alcove to the side. TCs to the side here. We have 39 archers, 8 pikemen. What is the response going to be? Because we have no army, right? 0 army on the side of coordinated collapse. But I just don't see any. You know, you really have to come forward to siege now if you're 1 PC booming to be able to do anything about this. These towers have been really useful to stop any thoughts of coming into the base. Yeah, as Captain Cookie said, you can counter any counter with numbers. 100%. 100%. I say that all the time about skirmishes. If you've got enough archers, you can take out skirmishes easy. Leaving the archers up here, which is not ideal. But what are these archers actually going to do? Like, they're not supported by anything. They're running into TC fire. It hasn't been noticed, so that was a lot of dead archers. And the only thing 1 TC booming has is their archer number. This is going to be the residential village up top here. There is an entry in here, if they can get through this quickly. But they can also probably, yeah, they can build a castle. So that's going to be a dead end, even if they do get through here. But they're targeting the market for some reason. No, they're going to target the house. But they're going to come up against the castle. And that's going to be rushed down. So there's absolutely no chance. Reinforcement numbers taken out. And here they come. And nope. They're not going to be able to come through there at all. And here come the elite skirmishers. They're on top of the hill. Delayed reaction. Dead archers. And now it's through the stable again that they're going to try and get into. Happily adjust, sitting up here, making sure that they can't farm and mine without consequence. Relic's starting to be brought in as well. This eco back here is looking very secure now. And we've got eco up here looking very secure. Nothing in the middle. Neither player has been able to take in the middle. If anything, the mines could have been taken in the middle for quite some time. And maybe should have pushed out from their little base. You know, they got the base on the side, definitely, but gold in the middle is pretty important. Going into barracks, so we're thinking eagles, which is a pretty fair assumption, I would say. But as soon as these archer numbers start decreasing, without the economy behind this, it's going to be tough to stop. This is a green card. This is a coordinated collapse castle. And if this goes up, then I think it really will be GG, because That's 24 villages. That's economy potential. They're going to run out of gold. They've got gold up here, but skirmishes were a good idea when all the opponents have is archers. And even a monk is getting involved, loses his life. Eagles are coming out too slow to deal with this. It is not the economy to do eagles either, and that archer number is completely gone now. And it's just going to be villager pickoffs like crazy. Not even going to finish off the archers, just going to finish off villagers with the cavalier. And if it wasn't GG initially, it is definitely GG now. But we're clinging on to the hope of a semi-finals run. I mean, why not? Why not as well? If you've come this far, you might as well play the game to the conclusion, or not. There's the G. But I like the tenacity. Real GG. GG for real? Yes. Alright, so that's 3-1 to coordinated collapse. Really, really good showing, and you know, they lost the first game and then stormed back for 3 in a row. So that was really cool to see. They're going to be in the semi-finals.